everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. Today's video is actually brought to you by my roommate, but not from random Facebook scrolling this time. The other day when I came home from work, she got really excited because she told me that she had a whole bunch of videos she wanted me to watch. And so we sat down and watched them. I had never heard of this before, but I find it incredibly cool. And we were watching a couple of most amazing videos of the top 10, I believe, scariest SCPs. And they brought up one that caught my attention because I thought it was really cool that out of everywhere in the world that it involved the Yukon. Now, this one, I tell you, first of all, a little bit back of a backstory. If you don't know what the SCP Foundation is, I'm just going to read you their little blurb on their about section in their website. So it says, mankind in its present state has been around for 250,000 years, yet only the last 4,000 have been of any significance. So what did we do for nearly 250,000 years? We huddled in caves and around small fires, fearful of the things that we didn't understand. It was more than explaining why the sun came up. It was the mystery of enormous birds with heads of men and rocks that came to life. So we called them gods and demons, begged them to spare us, and prayed for salvation. In time, their numbers dwindled and ours rose. The world began to make more sense when there were fewer things to fear. Yet the unexplained can never truly go away, as if the universe demands the absurd and impossible. Mankind must not go back to hiding in fear. No one else will protect us, and we must stand up for ourselves. While the rest of mankind dwells in the light, we must stand in the darkness to fight it, contain it, and shield it from the eyes of the public, so that others may live in a sane and normal world. We secure, we contain, we protect. So basically, the Foundation is this large group that has facilities that contain the unexplainable, the unknown, the creepy, the scary, the weird, whether that is objects, people, places, etc. It covers a lot. There are thousands of them. It is insane. And the people who have put their time and effort into making this a thing, and there's a full-on website with descriptions and like documentation and everything, are amazing. And I give major props to them because this has been, I'm sure, something in the making for years. But today we are going to talk about one SCP or SCP in particular, and that is SCP-139. Now, 139 basically has its own page, and it is broken down between object class, special containment procedures, a description, as well as, depending on what thing they're talking about, things that have happened with it, or, you know, trials that they've run, and that kind of thing. So, the one that we're talking about today, like I said, was SCP-139, and it object class is Keter. And this is what it says. So, special containment procedures. SCP-139 is to be kept in a room at least 6 meters at its smallest dimension, suspended at least 2 meters from the nearest inside surface of the room. No one is to enter this room under any circumstance. The room is never to be left without at least 2 armed guards at any moment. Now, you might think that that is a lot of protection for a skull. Yeah, I said it, a skull. But let's just read about the description of this object. The object appears on the surface to be a poorly preserved skull of a hominid. I can't talk today. The object appears on the surface to be the poorly preserved skull of a hominid. It is missing the lower jawbone. Also of note is the extreme wear, especially to the eye sockets. Photography of the skull has been analyzed by leading anthropologists. All agreed that the specimen is too badly damaged to be identified with complete accuracy, and that is most definitely hominid. While some believe it is a standard Neanderthal skull, others are convinced that the wide cavities are the result of that the original size was much smaller, more like that of a modern human. This is because the size of the nasal and ocular cavities was the main feature, leading some to identify this skull as Neanderthal. However, all were confounded by the ridge at the top of the skull. This feature is most commonly associated with prehistoric herbivores and species. Wow. This feature is most commonly associated with prehistoric herbivorous species of hominids. One of our own anthropologists has proposed the theory that the ridge is the sign of a powerfully jawed animal. Such ridges generally act as anchors for the jaw muscles, such as in the Paranthropus boise. These animals use their heavy jaw muscles for chewing plants, but it is also feasible that with sharp teeth they could easily be used for killing. The following was translated by Dr. No Name from ORIA document D.TDL67. When discovered, the skull was located in a small town just south of the throne of Yazmid, which has been determined to be the modern Farsi name for Persepolis. The skull was first recorded by Douglas Winthrop, an Englishman and employee of Anglo-Iranian oil during the 1370s, roughly the 1950s on the Gregorian calendar. Winthrop was an amateur anthropologist seeking fame and glory, and came upon the town hoping to find a living missing link. He believed that the residents of the town may be living Neanderthals, though this hypothesis was quickly abandoned upon inspection of the townspeople. He did uncover the skull. When discovered, the skull was being held in an iron and copper cage suspended 50 feet, 15.24 meters, in the air from a cliff using hemp rope. The rope was tied to a hook drilled into the side of the cliff, implying an intention never to bring it back down. A pulley was present, however. It was attached to a wall erected on the edge of the cliff. The pulley was used to lower food and water down towards the skull. The people referred to the skull as the skull of the White Div. In ancient lore, the White Div is a demon and the spawn of Ahriman, who is the sum of all evil. The White Div, in legend, is a being of great and mystic power, defeated by Rostam, who is the legendary hero of Persia. Purportedly, the Div was slain in the northern hills of what is now as Azerbaijan? I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry if I fucked that up. According to the townspeople, the skull had been brought to their town by a madman who had slain many men before they discovered the power of the skull, and it was contained and put in its current position. Winthrop was soon overcome with madness himself, slaughtering 7 of his friends after his return to England. He also was charged and convicted of sodomizing several male and female animals, among them several chickens, a male and female dog, and 3 bulls. He did not, however, manage to bring the skull back, as it was confiscated by the University of Shiraz under the Shah's authority. After the confiscation, however, no new research became of it. The artifact next surfaced in the Yukon, 90 kilometers from the Alaskan border. The entire community of Caribou Crossing, what today is known as Carcross, was found brutally murdered by multiple stab wounds. Semen was found inside the wounds, and it was assumed the assailant ejaculated into the incisions. The corpses were found stacked in a large pile in the center of the chapel. On top of the pile of corpses was the skull. The artifact has since been in our custody. The properties are unknown. What has driven such superstition in its wake is unknown. What has brought it to the scene of intense carnage is unknown. The safety precautions currently taken are so done simply because they have thus far proved effective. Why is not known. No research is planned. Yeah, that is basically the whole story behind it. I thought it was really cool that out of everywhere in the world that this skull could possibly pop up was the Yukon. I can assure you that not at any point during Carcross's history was the entire town murdered and placed into the chapel. I've been there many, many times, and I have heard lots and lots of stories about it, but not one that dark. So very much a made-up story, but I do give props to whoever thought of that. Because Carcross is such a small and tiny town in the middle of nowhere, why not put it there in the middle of the Yukon, basically? I absolutely love this entire website, this entire idea behind everything. We watched video upon video upon video of everything about this website, this foundation, and I can't wait to hear more and see more and just keep diving into more of them as time goes on. If you would like me to cover more SCPs in the future, please give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Which one is your favorite? Which one should I check out? Because like I said, there are like 5,000 of them at least. And that is not including the ones that have been disproven. That is not including the ones that are still being written about and found out about in the world. This is all very fascinating to me, and I'm so excited to dive deeper into this world. If you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified when I talk about these more, because I really want to in the future, whether you guys like it or not, because I want to see what else is out there. I mean, really, who knows? Maybe there's something else in the Yukon and we just haven't found it yet. That is all for me today. I will see you guys in the next video.